Okay. So when we last left off, we were just finishing up. The Endless Storytellers arrived at Perrin's Post, and there's a 3-day festival celebrating that, in which you all partook in. In fact, thanks to uh, a very eager attempt at doing the little whack-a-monster thing, that you actually became a part of the celebration. But that's fine. Um, so after everything settles down, the party here, the group here, is invited over to Finger's home, in which the Endless Storytellers. It's going to be just the first meeting of the new individuals that are going to be joining the troupe, and that kind of starting organization. So. The meeting is at 9 o'clock. Is there anything you guys want to do before then, or should we just switch the first scene to that type of meeting?
I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Great. So the meeting isn't normally in Perrin's meeting room because there's just so many people. It's pretty much in his main dining hall once again. There's a little bit of fruit kind of brought out as kind of a bit of an appetizer, something that people can nibble on while they're talking. But really, it's a much less of a jovial thing, and a lot of individuals there are just getting right down to business. Give me just 2 seconds as I get my notes. So, Perrin's just there as just as an observer. Really, Zoe Wedgwood, which was that woman in her mid-40s with the black raven hair. She is pretty much the head manager of the Endless Storytellers, and she's pretty much taking the reins. As you can see, it's not just yourselves who are new to this traveling troubadour show. There's also Alicia, of course. She's being hired on as both internal and external security. There are going to be 2 jugglers, 1 additional singer, and what really stands out is a female juicer. Are you guys all familiar with what juicers are still,
Yes.
or do you want me to get? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. Female juicer who insists by going by the name Death Clock. It doesn't take very long for you to determine that she is really eager to put in a daredevil, death-defying stunt show in with the Endless Storytellers, and so she has come along. She hasn't been given an official position yet. She's kind of just put herself upon the group. In addition, there are also about 6 general laborers that are also going to be hired to help out with the construction, deconstruction of the stages and everything like that. And in that group, you do recognize Kyle, the other young man, that you rescued from the witch's cave.
Mm-hmm.
So looks like he's going to be coming along as well.
Cool.
Do we know as what?
Yeah, he's going to be a laborer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I remember Kyle well.
Excellent. Okay, so is there anyone you want to talk with before the actual meeting begins?
Believe it or not, I do have a quick question to ask of Perrin. Given that there's going to be and I could be just talking to him in character, out of character, doesn't really matter. Given that there's going to be a juicer as part of the caravan, and that they're going to be doing the words that Al caught upon were death-defying stunt. Is there any sort of medical pamphlets, paperwork, anything you can so I can read up on juicers, drugs, et cetera, so I can maybe prepare treatments to alleviate or to help or whatever that might be special in the case of treating a juicer?
Perrin doesn't have anything on hand, unfortunately. He says your best bet is to talk to the other 2 doctors at the medical clinic here. You gotta excuse me, or maybe even Dr. Fincher. From my understanding, he's the one who actually rigged up this woman here, so he would probably be the best one to talk to.
Fair enough. I'll make sure to do that then.
Yeah, fair enough. Good. But after welcoming everyone into his home, Perrin kind of gives the floor to Zoe. And Zoe kind of clears her throat. And she says, "You have to excuse me, I'm not really much of a public speaker. I want to welcome all of you here. It looks some of you we've met, some of you we haven't really met. Perrin has been kind enough to kind of do some forward recruiting. However, just because you're in this room doesn't guarantee you a spot. No contracts have really been signed just yet. And what I would really like to do is have some of our other senior staff members here at the Endless Storytellers kind of just interview you or kind of debrief you and just make sure you're going to be a really good fit. So for any sort of general laborers that are being hired, setup men, or security personnel, you can report directly to me. As for the performers, we have a little bit more detail to go over, actually. You there, the young woman, and she points over to Neela, and she says, "It's probably we understand that you're quite the singer. Is that correct?"
Well, I sure am.
Good, wonderful. I'm gonna just have you speak with Caleb over here. He's going to you're gonna just do a small audition with him, and then both of you are gonna kind of brainstorm on what kind of acts that you can join in.
Oh, I love brainstorming. All right.
Okay, good. And she kind of gives another clear of her throat. She does look very uncomfortable speaking to a large group, but she says, "Now, you there, young man," she points over to Tom. She says, "I believe it's you'll have to talk to Giovanni, the Firebrand, too." And she points over to the side, and Giovanni kind of just raises his hand a little bit and gives you a smile. She goes, "Because I have a feeling that from our understanding, you two will be working together quite a bit if everything works out really well." She points over to Al, and she says, "You're probably going to be our new doctor, right?"
Yes, ma'am.
She's like, "Okay, pretty much Kennedy has been dealing with a lot of the medical stuff here with the Endless Storytellers, so it's probably best to speak with her. And if you do have any musical skill, I believe it was mentioned," she looked over to Perrin, "that you can play the guitar too, that you might want to also talk to Caleb when you're all done with Kennedy."
No, thanks. That's more of just a hobby of mine. I am nowhere near good enough to perform, but I appreciate the thought.
Neela, puckers out her lower lip, like,
Okay. And finally, she points over to Patrick, and she says, "You, from my understanding, you have more of a unique position. Although Perrin is an official part of this troupe, it's probably best to talk with him because he's going to show you a few things. And then after that, I'm going to have you talk with Siren." And she points over, and sure enough, it was that fast-talking elf from the dinner a few days previous, and he looks very, very excited. So
I wave over to him in broad and sort of like full arm waves.
Okay. Oh boy, this is gonna be interesting. So, what my plan was just to kind of get you all amalgamated into the Endless Storytellers, was to kind of just do some very brief one-on-one scenes with everybody. It shouldn't take very long, but is there anyone who wants to go first?
I am in no rush.
Okay.
I think I should go first.
I'm going to roll 20 to go last.
Okay.
Or we can just
okay.
roll to see who goes first.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, why not? Rolling dice is fun. Rolling dice.
Yeah,
is
sure.
fun.
Gives us a reason to use it.
Yeah.
Which one?
Good.
20.
There we go. 19 for.
Oh, God.
What is it? Oh!
Whoa, what's happening?
All right.
Sorry.
Oh, God.
There's like...
Oh.
Okay.
Jesus,
So.
No.
So that's like rigged, right? So
No!
you roll your 20s for the rest of the game.
No,
right?
I kid you not. That was not rigged. I was pressing
No.
dice because apparently
Then-
I clicked on this option that says 3D dice roll, which is really cool, but it took a second to activate, and I thought it just wasn't working, so I hit it 3 times.
My screen lagged, and so all of a sudden I just like popped up 2 because I clicked. I was like, why isn't this?
But
oh.
no, like those are 3 20s in a row, and I will probably never get a 20 for the rest of my life.
Probably.
That means.
Good job.
All right.
Oh, jeez. That's
So-
all your luck in the very beginning of the session.
I know.
Yeah, and we're not even fighting. not even close. That's all right. So sure enough. So obviously this meeting is all these meetings, these debriefings, so to speak. They aren't going on in Perrin's home, of course. This was just the initial meeting area. So you're all going to be taken the various areas of Perrin's post for this. So, so I guess since we rolled the 3 20s in a row, we'll let him go first. Sure enough, you probably would recognize Kennedy Dodge, the young woman that you met during the initial meet and greet and dinner. She was the one who you convinced that you were a clowning troupe. And so when you first talk with her, she says, "So you're not clowns at all." Now I feel like an idiot. But it's nice to meet you nevertheless. I don't think we've officially met. I'm Kennedy. And she offers her hand.
Hi, I'm Al, and I believe you're looking at it the wrong way. Just because we don't perform doesn't mean we're not a group of clowns.
She's like, "Oh, fair enough." She's like, "So it's probably best I should show you what our medical vehicle is right now. So you'll just have to meet with me outside of the actual fort here."
Fair enough.
And she takes you out, and it's kind of by the parking area. There's a big spot reserved for the caravan of the traveling group. And sure enough, she takes you to. It's a large ATV, and she shows you the medical supplies that they do have. Now, I'm not going to go into details exactly what they have, but suffice to say, it is the same as a very basic clinic. So any sort of bandage, basic antibiotics, and tools that you would require, you would be able to have. It doesn't have advanced robotics to do like nano surgery or anything like that, but it is well supplied and it's very, very clean. Talking with Kennedy, you're able to figure out that she is normally she's very good looking. She's very voluptuous. So she was initially hired as one of the showgirls, but she has the most skill, and she has she's like a really good medic. She's not a doctor by any means, but when it comes to treating basic problems, the most common ones are broken bones and scrapes. She can handle that no problem.
All right, well, I do want to let her know, like, my purpose here is not to, get in the way or make it feel like this is something taking over or whatnot. So whatever your process is, whatever it is that you do, let me know so that I know how to just become a part of it.
Oh, she waves her hand. She's like, "No, don't worry about being so cautious there, Doc. Honestly, I would rather assist someone and help someone out rather than being the go-to person. So far, we've been really lucky. We haven't had any sort of major injuries, but that's inevitably going to happen, and I don't want to be in that position. I'd rather have it be in someone who's, really skilled, such as yourself. So, really, honestly, from what I understand, that you're going to be the head medic, so it's really what I can do to help you and make sure I don't get in the way. Consider all this stuff. I mean, it's not yours, obviously. It's paid by the troop, but you arrange everything that you need to. Typically, when we set up at a town, we just put up a little first aid tent, and we do charge. It depends on the situation, really. It's up to Zoe. Sometimes it's a really poor town. What we do is we have their sometimes we do stuff for free, or we make an arrangements with the head person, and anyone who wants to be checked out for any sort of disease or anything like that, they can. Uh, if it's a very opulent place with a lot of money that can be thrown around, typically we charge the same as the local clinics in the area. Sometimes we charge lower, but then it makes those clinics really, really angry. So we try not to step on any sort of toes. So, yeah,
Well,
that's
I
pretty
guess
much
that
how
makes
it worked
sense.
out. Yeah.
I would like to, even if it's at cost to myself, at least be able to provide the simplest things, maybe some sort of mild pain relievers or bandages or whatnot, things that you
They're
would.
already there.
Okay, but I mean, offer them free of charge. Okay, out of character for a second, thinking when you go to an anime convention, because it's a convention and people are expected to get minor cuts and bruises, most conventions have a first aid stand where you can get Tylenol and Band-Aids and things like that for free.
Got ya.
Something like that. I'm wondering if that's something that we could do.
Caddy says you'll have to talk to Zoe with that. We kind of keep a really good inventory on this stuff, and she says I'm not the one to talk to when it comes to giving stuff away for free. If you want to make an arrangement with Zoe, that's great, but that's not my purview.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Oh, question. Out of character. The clinic that I'm looking at, is it similar to, less than, or better than what I ordered to have on the Behemoth? If you remember,
it is
yeah.
less than.
Okay. So then I might talk to her about. I'm sure you've heard that we actually have a Behemoth coming that's going to be traveling with the troop. On there,
She said I heard rumors. Yeah.
On there, I'm going to have a fully equipped medical lab. Depending on the quality of it, because you never know until you see it, how would you feel about possibly moving the first aid clinic from here to there if it allows us to treat people better?
She kind of scratches her back of her head a little bit. She says, I don't really have a lot of problems with it, but from my understanding, that's a pretty big robot. And there's some towns that you won't be able to get very close with it. It might not hurt to have almost 2 stations, really. This setup that we have here, which is a basic tent that can be set up close to the town, and if your machine can't get close to the town, then that can be used as more of an emergency.
Right. What my thought was to use this for anything general and easy, but have that close by for more serious issues.
She says, "Yeah, hopefully that won't happen, but that sounds like a plan at least."
Okay.
She's like, I don't, and she says, on the other hand, too, I don't know. I hear that you guys are just maybe kind of temporary, kind of casual help out type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if Zoe would be crazy about putting the stuff that's owned by the troop inside your place and then
No. That would not be what I was suggesting. I should have a fully equipped medical lab there. So, one last thing. Do you keep medical records of the people in the troop? And if not, do you have a list, or can you give me a list of common ailments, allergies, conditions, chronic illnesses that I would need to know in order to treat people?
She says, "Wow, Doc, you're really detailed. I normally just help them as they come. But there are a few chronic things that you should probably be aware of, I suppose. Give me, a little while, and I'll put together a list for you."
Of course, I would greatly appreciate that.
Miss anything? Sure. She's like, "Yeah, no problem."
Thank you.
Is there anything else you want to talk to Kennedy about?
No, that should be it.
All right. She's very optimistic, though. She's very pleasant. She says, "All right, this is great. I think things are going to work out really, really well."
I do too.
Great. So next is Tom. The rules are
Yes.
correct. So, Giovanni, he wants to, let's see here. The meeting spot for that is also going to be outside Perrin's post in a kind of cleared off area. The same cleared off area that he did when he was performing, just to make sure that. And So he says his first thing isn't even hello or anything like that. He goes, "So exactly how old are you?"
Um, 16.
Oh, okay, that's not too bad. He says, "I was worried when they said there was going to be a kid around. I'd have to do a lot of babysitting, but 16 years old, you should be able to figure out everything yourself, eh?"
Yeah.
He kind
I
of
think
brings
so.
up his hand. He's like, "I'm Giovanni, but most people call me the Firebrand."
Hi. And I go and shake his hand.
Ah, that's pretty good. So what's your stage name?
Stage name?
He goes, "Yeah, of course." Oh, come on, you can't perform without a stage name. I'm the Firebrand. You know, it gives a strong meaning, reputation, right? It's something that snaps, right? You need one as well if you're going to be doing this show with me. It can't be the Firebrand and Tom. That it doesn't work, right?
Okay. Okay. I see where you're getting at.
Okay.
Uh, I don't know.
You don't have to come up with it very now. Maybe we'll figure out something together if you want. But
Okay.
from my understanding, you're also psychically gifted. Is that right?
Yes.
I see. You get any trouble with that?
No, not really.
Not really. Mm-hmm. I can hear the hesitation in your voice. You don't grow up with powers like ours without causing a little bit of trouble or having trouble find you. So don't worry about
Yeah.
that.
I try to avoid the latter.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So all right. Well, show me what you can do at least.
Okay.
First we'll go with the power stuff, right? So show me what you got.
All right. I am going to take out my little notebook
Uh-huh.
and flip through a few pages and everything and look at it a bit and shut
Firebrand
it, put
kind
it.
of puts his hands on his hips and be like, "All right."
I put it back in my pocket and I try to replicate to the best of my ability his act, the whole dragon
Oh.
act.
Really? Okay.
I'm going
Okay.
to try it. It might not be perfect.
No. But you did take notes. So this is where Inferno gets to just
I also have art.
Would you like to
You
borrow
do
one
have-
of my 20s?
no, you can't. No.
No.
Those are spent. Those are not stored 20s. I'm just trying to think of a good statistic to do that, because doing the power you can just do, right?
Yes.
You haven't done a lot of shaping yourself, but you have the art skill and you took notes.
And specifically, this is only me trying to replicate the dragon part
Yeah.
of the act, not the whole thing.
Okay, so
not
I'm
the
gonna have
whole-
you roll a skill dice, and
Okay.
I'm gonna give you a 40%, and higher or lower than 40, we'll see how successful you are. Oh dear.
Oh boy!
So what happens is
I made a
it's
giant
really
purple
just-
dragon.
Yeah, no, it doesn't even look like a dragon. It's like a
Like a little
big
stick
ball,
figure.
and you can kind of see like a little mouth come out of it. And the Firebrand goes, he kind of just brings up a hand, and he actually squelches your fire, unless you
No, that's fine.
resist it. Squelches, he goes, "You're trying way too hard. Just show me." He thinks for a second and be like, "Why don't you just make a pillar? You can make a pillar, right?"
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
How big?
Not too big. Let's not scare anybody off.
Okay.
Just something to say cover your size.
Oh yeah, sure. And I will try and do that.
Okay. So you can spend your ISP and just go ahead and do it,
Yeah.
because it's pretty simple. He goes, "Okay, all right, yeah, you got some power, you got some stuff there. You could probably do the little stuff too, right? Like little bolts of fire."
Oh
Stuff
yeah,
like that.
definitely. And I'll try and do that.
Okay. Yeah. Sure enough, he goes, "All right. He goes, "All right. This is what I think we might start off with.
Mhm.
I'm gonna teach you how to do some of the really detailed stuff, but it requires a lot of focus, and it's not the easiest thing to do, right?
Okay.
But for the sake of the act, he goes, well, wait, before we start talking about the act, how athletic are you? Like, can you do cartwheels? Can you do rolls? Can you do flips? Like,
I'll
can you
do a
do anything
backflip
like
while
that?
he's talking.
All right. Goes. All right. Yeah. It's actually. You know what? I need you to roll because I think it goes up to 98, but you could roll 99 or 100, just falling you. Oh my God! Dang it! You do a backflip, but you stumble and fall on your face, and he says, "Okay, maybe we don't have to worry about the backflips." And it's clear now that he's kind of like he's rubbing his head like, what the fuck am I gonna do? But
Wait,
he's
I can do this.
patient.
I can do this. I want to do it again.
Come
Goes,
on.
don't hurt yourself, kid. It's okay. There's no audience around.
Swear to God.
But I want
Sure,
to.
You get a 100.
All right. Okay. All right.
Oh my god! If I get 100, I'm gonna just okay.
So, all right. So you actually complete a backflip. He goes, oh, okay. All right. He goes, it's probably best you practice that because we don't want you falling on your face in front of an
Yeah,
audience.
I kind of slipped. I'm sorry.
Ah, it's okay. It's all right, kid. So, yeah. So what I was thinking for the act
Mhm.
is that we can brainstorm some things together, but just to start off, I'd like you to be like my supporting pyrotechnic, so to speak, right? Because if I don't have to concentrate on making a bunch of pillars and a bunch of flame effects or anything like that with my mental abilities, it gives me more chance to focus and make things even more intricate and detailed and even larger, right? Like, did you see the dragon thing that I did a couple days ago?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to make.
Oh, he goes, oh. Well, I can do the dragon head, but I want to, if we have enough stage space, enough clear space, I like to do almost like an entire body and have it fly around or something like that. I think that'd be pretty cool. And
Yeah.
with you kind of giving me support, and then what I'm really hoping we can do, once we get you a little bit more trained, is for us to actually work together and create something really incredible. But we'll just take baby steps at a time. How's that sound?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, good. It goes, any thoughts on your name? It probably should be fire-based. Firebrand and what?
The flaming
Uh,
man. He's
how about-
flaming.
99%.
Sorry. How about
How about the burnerator? Yeah. How about that?
How
I don't
original.
know if you're making a joke or not, Vern.
No, I'm not.
Oh, you're not?
I'm not. If
The
you don't like it, I
burnerator-
can change it.
He kind of thinks there's like the burnerator. We might go back on that. He goes, it's not bad, but it doesn't have a lot of.
Not
Flat.
a lot of flare or flash.
No, it sounds deadly. We don't want to scare people, for crying out loud. We want to dazzle them, right?
Okay.
We'll think of it. We'll think of something.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm not too good with names. I'm
It's
I'm
fine.
sorry.
That's fine. It's fine, kid. So, what we're going to do is we're going to be here in Parents Post for a couple weeks.
Mhm.
I like to practice. A lot of the others have a pretty hard-nosed schedule. I'm kind of a little bit more laid back when it comes to that sort of thing. I like to practice every day for about 2 to 3 hours and then just have the rest of the day ourselves. So if you're okay with that type of schedule, we can start tomorrow.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Cool. All right, kid. Well, I think that'll be it for now. Why don't you rest up? Hopefully you didn't scrape yourself too bad when you biffed it on that backflip. And just give a think about the about the name, and I'll do the same thing.
Okay, and don't worry about my face. I've hit my face a few times. It's fine.
Fair enough. All right. Okay. So yeah, that's. Did you want to bring anything else up there?
No, I'm fine.
Poor Burn.
Okay. Well,
You'll
Maybe
get
things
your
okay.
moment.
You only
Hey,
have a
hey.
99% chance, or
Hey, they
you only
never.
have a 2% chance to fail this.
You know what they say? First impressions aren't important.
They don't say that.
No one ever said that.
Dang it!